Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. John Morant and Anthony Edwards. Let's talk about this. I heard this first on Too Raw for Sports, and I want to give him a shout out. Too Raw for Sports, Too Raw for TV gave me a shout out yesterday on my video on his channel. So to me, that's high praise. Too Raw for Sports is a legend in the game to me. And I really didn't even start listening to sports videos or sports channels until I heard Too Raw for Sports. And then I was like, wow, let me listen to this. And I was like, man, this is a pretty good perspective. And it's real versatile. So I love listening to his channel. And I would always request videos on his channel. And he would do them like 99% of the time. And shouts out to him, man. So let's get into this one. Like I said, I heard this on Too Raw for Sports. Or it might have been Too Raw for TV. I forget which one. I didn't get to watch the whole entire videos, but I'm going to tell you what. I just don't like John Morant. I come from like watching 90s basketball and 80s basketball and no nonsense type of approach. Dudes weren't wearing collared dreads, and it's not even because of the dreads. It's not because of the dreads. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, this guy could be the face of the league, but instead, what is he? He's a studio gangster. That's what he is. And I had a guy like this at my work. We used to call him Baby Morant because he looked like John Morant. He wasn't as tall. He was actually short, but he had like the same hairstyle. Not the Fruity Pebble collars, but he had like the same hairstyle, and he looked like John Morant. And he actually ended up pulling a gun on somebody. I'm not going to tell the whole story and what happened, but this guy, he also was raised in the suburbs. Right? He was raised in the suburbs. His parents owned a business. His parents had money and stuff like that. But guess what? It's a lot of black children just like John Morant. Because in a lot of these big cities, a lot of urban neighborhoods or hoods, whatever you want to call it. I never called it hoods. They were just black neighborhoods that people like Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Eazy-E turned into hoods, right? Black people didn't call their neighborhoods hoods because when you refer to it like that, you refer to crime, darkness, drugs, and a lot of bad stuff. People walk around with hoods over their heads and stuff like that. So, black people never called their neighborhoods hoods. And what a coincidence. When we talk about Dr. Dre and Ice Cube and these people like that, these people are studio gangsters, right? Go look up their backgrounds. Dr. Dre used to be in a singing group, I think in the 80s, in the early 80s or the late 70s, something Wrecking Crew or whatever like this. This guy would wear high heels, makeup, tight pants, all kind of stuff. He didn't came from no gangster background. Ice Cube is Irish, if people don't know that, right? His people are from Ireland. O'Shea, go look him up. He wasn't no gangster. He made good grades in school. His parents had good jobs. And stuff like that. These are studio gangsters. That's what you call it. So, getting back into this, John Morant, he comes from, I would say, a middle-class home or upper middle-class home, right? He didn't come from the hood. He's a studio gangster, right? And like I said, it's a lot of, he's portraying what's going on out here, right? It's been going on for a while. A lot of your studio gangsters are coming from the suburbs. They're no longer coming from the quote-unquote hood in black neighborhoods no more, because these neighborhoods are getting taken over by immigrants and white people, right? So there's very little hoods anymore. So all your, tough guys and gangsters, are coming from the suburbs. And you see it, especially from these rappers the past, I don't know, for a long time now, at least since 2015. I would say about 2012. You know, this soft hip hop where everybody's singing, you know, the Drake type of guys. And, you know, when I was growing up, if dudes were singing like that, it wouldn't even get put out because it would get smashed on by every rapper out there. The only rappers I know that was ever singing was Bone Thugs and Harmony. And they was harmonizing. And that it sounded great. But these rappers these days, for the past, since 2015, they sound like idiots. There's no harmony to what they're saying. They sound like they got a piece of wood in their mouth while they're trying to sing and trying to rap and all this stuff. These is all studio gangsters. All studio gangsters. Okay? And what this ties into is the fact that today the judge sided with John Morant of him protecting himself of that incident he had with a 17-year-old at his house. What was he doing with a 17-year-old at his house? Somebody underage. You guys got to stop. These is grown men. This guy has been in the NBA since 2019. These is grown men with millions of dollars. Every time you hear about these dudes, they with some dudes. Why you always with some dudes? How come you ain't with some women? And that's why I never got the whole scene of going out and fighting. Because when I used to go out to the club, I didn't see nothing but women. I never even looked at a dude. I mean, like, all I seen was, in my visual, was women. I love women. Women are beautiful too. Big booties, nice titties, all this stuff. Like, I love women. So dudes sitting on a wall, waiting for a dude to look at them, waiting for a dude from another set, all this, I can't even, that sounds, you know, sugary to me. You going to a club to look at a dude? So you still got the gun incident when he really did have a gun. You got the other gun incident when he faked he had a gun. You had the mall incident, right? I can't take this guy serious. I don't care what happens to this guy. What has he done in this league since he's been in the league? 2 All-Star appearances. I think he had a second team All-NBA in Rookie of the Year. And it's just a coincidence. These great players, it's something happening to them in the LeBron era. Because this guy was so popular. And he just dug his own grave. And to me, I think he's going to keep doing it. For some reason, I don't know why, but it just seems like it's going to keep happening. As long as LeBron is in the league, right? Zion Williams, the biggest thing we ever seen coming into the league since LeBron, this guy gets hurt every year. What? I'm not going to say no conspiracies. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Hopefully, Wembanyama will be okay. And then this guy, Morant, he gets hurt this year. Because he could have brought them back in that 9th and 10th seed, at least. That team was cooking. Remember that team was cooking? And then the arm injury. So I don't have any respect for this guy, this studio gangster, Ja Morant. I just don't, until he can show me something as a basketball player. I don't have any respect for him as a person, period. Because he didn't grow up on hard times. I can tell you what, I hated school. The only reason why I like even going to school, because they had breakfast and they had lunch. That's the only reason why I like going. We was that poor. In the summertime, you don't even eat breakfast and lunch. Might be lucky to eat dinner. And this is who you dealing with these days. These rich AAU Academy boys with a silver spoon in their mouth. And now they trying to be studio gangsters. So I don't care what happens to this guy. He hasn't did nothing in the NBA. He hasn't did nothing good in his life. Good for him. He was trying to defend himself from a 17-year-old boy at his home. I don't even know why a grown man with tens of millions of dollars is playing scrimmage basketball with some 17-year-old dude. Look, I wouldn't even be playing basketball with my homies. If I was him, I wouldn't even be playing ball with my homies. I could get hurt. You ain't my competition. What? There's no reason for me to be playing ball unless there's some money involved. right? So I don't want to hear nothing else about this John Morant. I mean, I'm not trying to show up too raw for sports or anything like that because he likes the guy. And a lot of people like the guy. I'm just trying to tell you, this guy has never did nothing in the NBA as far as, any greatness, really. Yes, he putting up a good stat line the past few years and stuff like that. That's it. I know he hasn't been playing in the league for that long, but this guy is destroying his career. And I just don't care about the guy. I know a lot of people, including me, and a lot of other people growing up, had a struggle. And this is what this guy is showing the youth. And I've been seeing this for a long time. All these middle class minority kids now, they're studio gangsters. They think they from the hood. They think just because I'm it ain't only black children. I've been seeing it with Spanish children too. You think just because you're of a certain ethnicity, you got to act like this and destroy your life when you ain't even seen no hard times. It's crazy, man. And this is what this guy is too. This is what he promotes. This is what he promotes. I don't know where his father comes from. I can find out. All you got to do is look up last names. You know where your people come from. It'll tell you. All you got to do is look up your surname. But I don't know, where his father come from, his background and stuff like that. But, man. So Anthony Edwards scores 51 points. I think it was last night against the sorry Wizards. Ooh, like I said, Michael Jordan and other great players did it against great teams. Second of all, it took you this long to score 51 points. I'm sick of this dude. I'm serious. Luka, a plumber, and Joker, a plumber, has taken over this league. There's no way I'll be doing anything different than what Luka is doing right now if I'm about his size, and what Joker is doing right about now if I was his size. I'll be out there willing and dealing right in front of people. And who gonna stop me? Because they can't stop Luka. They can't stop Joker. So how could they stop you? Carrying, travel, playing no defense. I'm talking about Luka. Getting 8 boards a game and 8 assists and I don't even know how many, 31 points he's scoring. I forget. 30 something, 35. You telling me a dude like this is letting Anthony Edwards is letting Luka outscore him? He getting a scoring crown this year and scoring and getting 8 assists, 8 rebounds, having the energy for all this? A dude who can't even jump off the floor? What? And Anthony Edwards can't do that? You got a different role, man. No. I'm going to get that role. Move over. Watch this. I bet you I'll bust 35, 8, and 8, just like Luka Doncic. If he can do it, I can do it. I'm just sick of everybody making up excuses. And I don't even know who to compare Joker to because, I guess there's nobody like Joker. I would say if I was a great center in the league, I'd just go do what Joker's doing. But there's no great centers in the league. Joel Embiid, I guess. He's got a whole different style game. So, yeah, this dude right here, man, it's just, it took you this long at the end of your 4th season to bust 51 points. Really? And they comparing you to Michael Jordan? How many 40-point games have you had? Huh? Man, I be totally lost with this nonsense about Anthony Edwards. Yes, he's getting better. And yes, he might score 31 points per game next season. But he should be doing more. Look how weak this era really is. It's a no-touch era. And I keep trying to tell you, yeah, this guy can't shoot the three, really. And it's fine. LeBron can't shoot the three. But what I would be doing, I would be slashing to the basket and just getting 10 dunks a game. Who gonna stop you? Who is gonna stop you? And then you got to get your free throw game up, because if you want to be a slasher, you can't be shooting like 75% from the line like LeBron James. I think LeBron would have averaged, what, about 29 points a game? If he didn't shoot so miserable from the line. I mean, because it was some years he shot like 69%. It was nuts. Yeah. I mean, if LeBron was a decent free throw shooter, he would be averaging at least 30 points per game for his career. Because he would drive even more. Because you know he can't shoot. I mean, I don't know how more you can really drive in your career. But I mean, I'm talking about all those 3-point shots he done settled for. And brick them up. So I'm not trying to bust on any of these guys. They're great NBA players. But like Sports and Fitness Rant said, we can't lower the bar for these guys. Got to hold them to a standard. Every time we hear Michael Jordan and past players, and then I pull up these guys' first few years and see what their resume is, it's almost blank. And then we make up these excuses. Oh, they was young. They was young when he came in. Look, you know how they don't compare him to LeBron James, right? They're saying Michael Jordan. That's a hit on LeBron James. But guess what? LeBron James came into the league younger than Anthony Edwards. And look at what LeBron did. He ain't even on LeBron's level. Not even on LeBron's level. But we're trying to talk about he's going to be the next Michael Jordan. You already know I don't even mess with LeBron. But if you're going to be this great player and all this resistance, and these people talking about he was younger than Jordan when he came into the league, that's fine. What did you do in college? Go see what Michael Jordan did in college. Why did you come to the NBA if you wasn't ready, homie? Great player. I mean, Kobe came out, right? Are you even on the level of Kobe, right? Kobe came in, I think, at like 18. Yeah, he sat on the bench. Tougher era. But are you really on the level of Kobe yet? After Kobe's second, third, and fourth year, are you on that level? Why are we jumping to Michael Jordan? Why are we just bunny hopping people, right? So to me, by now, in this weak era, he should have been balling a long time ago. I don't care what age this guy was coming into this weak league. What I'm trying to say is no defense. By now, you should be top 5 in scoring. You ain't. In top 5 or 10 in another statistical category, and you ain't. We've already went over this. And these playoffs are going to be something, because these guys done went this whole season playing basketball, and we gonna remember all these teams melted down in the playoffs last year, and we act like it didn't happen. We rebooted the beginning of this season, and we act like all these teams last year did not melt down in the playoffs. And we matter of fact, we're gonna have a whole video on this, because we got to stop. I didn't even have a channel last year, but all these teams melted down in the playoffs. Enough of this comparing these guys to the 80s and 90s. These guys was going out fighting. The Charles Barkleys, the Michael Jordans, the Akeems, all these dudes. Patrick Ewing. It don't matter if you got beat. We talking about going down like an OG. These dudes go down bricking it up. So tell me what you think, man.